Ramadan Mubarak, happy Ramadan. May Allah accept our good deeds and draw us closer to Him in ways we didn't know we needed. Today I'm talking about something I've wanted to unpack for a very long time. What does it actually feel like to become Muslim? Not a debate and not theology, not the why Islam is true arguments, the real lived experience. Because I've never heard anyone explain it in a way that actually captures it. When you take your Shahada, when you say it and mean it, what actually happens? What shifts inside? And what changes outside? What does it feel like? There's this assumption, especially from Christian spaces, that it's like what Christian converts describe, that emotional high that I felt Jesus in my heart feeling, that everything starts going right and you feel good from the inside out. But becoming Muslim isn't quite that. So let's talk about it. I'm Bree Shaaban, and this is Beyond The Shahada. Before you take your Shahada, something's already happening. If you're curious about Islam, you know this feeling. It starts quiet. It's not rebellion and it's not anger. It's not I hate my religion. It's questions. Questions that just don't go away after youth group. Questions that don't settle after yet another sermon. And questions that definitely don't disappear even when everyone around you seems perfectly fine. For me, it was never dramatic. It was subtle discomfort. Reading verses and thinking, wait, that doesn't make sense. Hearing explanations and thinking that's a workaround, not an actual answer. Being told to just have blind faith. And thinking, why would God give me a brain that I'm not allowed to use? That stage, before Islam, feels like standing in a room where everybody's comfortable, but you're realizing that the floor isn't actually steady. You can still function and smile and participate, but something underneath feels off. And once you notice the cracks, you simply can't unsee them. That's where becoming Muslim actually begins. Not at the Shahada, but in the unsettling honesty before it. And here's the bit that people don't like to talk about. That questioning phase. I genuinely believe that's Allah opening your heart. Not when you say the Shahada or start praying or even when your life visibly changes. It begins in the discomfort. It begins in the honesty because not everybody questions. Some people feel the cracks and plaster straight over them. Some people just feel doubt and instantly panic. Some people feel inconsistency and choose comfort over truth. Because sometimes a lie is way more comfortable than accepting the truth, right? But if you lean in, even a little, something shifts. You start searching, maybe quietly, maybe even late at night on your phone when no one else knows. That search can take months, years. It can look really messy and resistant. But looking back, every question wasn't me drifting from God. It was Him pulling me closer. Guidance doesn't start with certainty. It starts with sincerity. If your questions are real, if your intention is honest, if you'll follow truth wherever it leads you, that's already guidance, no matter how long it takes. For most reverts, Islam isn't interesting. It's unfamiliar, and usually it's been presented as bad their whole life. You grow up hearing things, you see it on the news, you hear jokes and the warnings, and sometimes you're taught to feel sorry for Muslims, especially women. You're taught that every one of them is oppressed. Sometimes you're even taught to fear them. And sometimes you're just told, with no explanation at all, that Islam is false and dangerous. So when you start looking into it, it feels strange, like you're doing something wrong. Like you're reading something that you're not supposed to be reading. And then something unexpected happens. It makes sense. Not emotionally, but logically. You read about Tawheed, the oneness of God, and it's entirely simple, clear, direct, no layers, no confusion, no it's a mystery, just believe. And that's really uncomfortable because now the question changes. It's no longer, what if Islam is wrong? It becomes, what if I was wrong about Islam? And that question spreads. If I was wrong about Islam, what else was I wrong about? What beliefs were inherited and not chosen? Suddenly, you're not just questioning one religion, you're questioning everything. Your upbringing, your assumptions, your identity, your whole self. Comfort is easy. Honesty is heavy. After months or years of questioning, something quietly changes. It's not dramatic, no emotional surge, and no magical rush. It's the world itself around you that changes. Things that you took for granted, like life and God, suffering, morality, they all suddenly look different. Things that seemed random now have order. The threads connect. The chaos behind the curtain is now visible. That's really unsettling at first because you realize you've been seeing life through a fog. That fog shaped everything you believed, everything that you tolerated, and now it's gone. Becoming Muslim doesn't give you a feeling. It gives you kind of X-ray vision. It's a clarity that isn't screaming. It doesn't announce itself, but it hits you in a way that you cannot ignore. You notice the world differently. You notice yourself differently. You notice other people differently. You may have friends or family that you've been close to your whole life. And suddenly the veil is removed and you're seeing people for exactly who and what they are, not the version that you'd hoped for them to be. Life feels sharper and more focused. And with that clarity brings peace, complete peace internally. But it's not comfort, and it's definitely not temporary relief. It's peace that exists alongside hardship. You still feel pain and confusion and fear, but nothing outside shakes that alignment inside. The chaos outside can no longer touch the calm that's inside. You realize Islam isn't just about rules. It's not another religion. It's a complete way of life. Every part of you, your thoughts, actions, relationships, priorities, all start aligning with it. And when you see through it, you notice how much of your old life was built on assumptions. Stories you were told without any proof. Suddenly, even your past makes sense. Even the pain, the mistakes, all the questions, they now all fit perfectly into this puzzle where so many of the pieces were missing before. You don't just believe the truth, you are seeing everything else by it. Seeing the world clearly through Islam does come with a price, because once that veil lifts, nothing stays the same. Not your perspective, not your priorities, and definitely not how other people see you. If you're the only Muslim in your family, it can be especially brutal. The jokes and the mockery, the light-hearted digs that are really just reminders that you're now different, that disbelief, the whispered warnings, the questions that aren't actually questions but challenges. Like, why are you doing this? Or who convinced you to do this? Why can't you just believe like us? What happened to you? And yes, the loss. Friends who disappear quietly. Family who distance themselves because your faith now threatens their comfort. It's lonely and it's frustrating. It's even heartbreaking sometimes. And it's not just social, it's internal. You carry the weight of knowing the truth and watching people you love completely dismiss it. They mock it and sometimes even completely refuse to understand. You are constantly negotiating when to speak, when to stay quiet, when to defend, when to let go. Islam doesn't just live in your heart, it reorganizes your whole life, and not everyone likes the new layout. Becoming Muslim isn't a magic fix. It doesn't make life easier. It doesn't erase conflict. It doesn't give you instant approval. What it gives you is clarity, and clarity comes with great responsibility. You can no longer go back. You can't just ignore what you know now. So you navigate a world that misunderstands you entirely. Sometimes it mocks you or rejects you. all while trying to remain true to your faith. It's hard and it's real, and if you've experienced it, you know. Even when everything feels hard and confusing, something else is happening inside. The truth you've accepted, the reality of Allah, the clarity of Tawheed, starts speaking louder than any doubt ever could. It overrides ridicule or any criticism. But let's be clear, it doesn't remove the difficulty. The loneliness is real, the tension is real, but the truth inside you is clearer. It anchors you, it protects you, it's steady in a way that nothing else is. Christians describe feeling Jesus in your heart as a rush of emotion, everything glowing, and everything in your life is perfect. But Islam is different. Christianity gives you emotions that come and go. Islam gives you a stability that stays. The shield isn't a high. It's calm, consistent. It doesn't vanish when life gets hard. It's a deep internal awareness of this is real, this is true, and nothing outside can change that. For the first time, your heart, mind, and soul are all in complete alignment and agreement. Over time, that clarity strengthens. Every prayer, every reflection, every sincere moment reinforces it. The shield doesn't make the world easier, but it makes you unshakable. And slowly, quietly, you realize the struggles don't break you. They sharpen the very thing keeping you standing. If you're listening and you're still in the questions, still circling Islam quietly, still unsure, still afraid, maybe that discomfort isn't confusion at all. Maybe it's the veil thinning. And if you're a revert, it's your first Ramadan or even your 10th Ramadan, and you're feeling the weight, may Allah keep you firm. May He replace what you lost with something even greater. May He reward every awkward conversation, every lonely Eid, every silent sacrifice. Because this path isn't emotional hype, it's truth. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next episode, God willing. Bye!